It's time to deal with the privet. So just fill that spot in, so that's going to have a bit of wire on. I just want to see how it looks with the stain on it, to be honest. Hi, it's Xavier, and welcome to my bonsai retreat. And it's time to deal with the privet. Sorry, Jason, do that, because we know you don't like privet. I'm sure I showed this in an earlier video where I'd taken the wire off these, and I think I'd indicated a possible front probably there, and someone, can't remember who now, I'll have to rewatch the video, suggested there might be a front somewhere else. I think it all depends on how much of this gets carved away, but what I'm going to do, I've had loads and loads of growth, I'm just going to clip it back a little bit and just have a look and see if we need to apply some wire. So we've got a big sucker there, and yeah, I would imagine that if you poke that in soil it would quite happily, and I'm just going to clean up bits that are definitely broken, get rid of suckers, that's taking the growth where we don't want it. It's a nice pad area there, got a sucker there. That could be quite useful. I'm gonna wire this out for anything that looks like it's good for wiring. I won't necessarily make the decision on the front yet. That probably seems counterintuitive, but the way my mind works, I'd rather have more options and then subsequently change my mind. So we've got a load in here, just do loose ends, and I won't show you all my sawing, but this is the sort of thing we want to get rid of. So I'm going to keep going around, and there's ones here that I can get rid of, and come back to you when I've done that. Okay, well that's a load of cleaning out done, and I've remembered the front. There's a lot of hollow in there and rotting wood in there, just going into that. So I like this hollow as a front, and I think that's why I picked it. This here either needs to be cut down or all carved around, but I'm thinking this for the front, and I just need to cut some of this back. But the other option, I think, was possibly in there. I'm sure someone talked about, because there you've got branches either side. What I don't like about it is that from there this branch leans back into the hunt, so I think that's distracting. I don't like that line, so for me I'd rather have it so it comes up like that, coming from the back, and we've got an option of actually losing that, to be honest, at some point. So I won't carve today, I think we'll wait till we've got a little bit of better weather, but what I am going to do is to see how much I can prune and not wire. I think we can probably do quite a bit actually. We've already got there, and I'm just making really nice straightforward pads. Just clean up. There we go. So that means that stump I'll carve off a bit. Pads are a little bit thick right now, but I'm quite happy for that. Got classic here, 3s. So same rules, but I want to keep enough growth on it that it stays healthy, to be honest. I don't know if you can see it here, this one upward. I wasn't going to wire, I wouldn't want it. I've got a, oh look, I've broke a branch there. It's fine. That's a reasonable back branch for now. Got lots of growth here, to be honest, and truthfully, I can definitely see myself taking it further back next year. What I really want this time is to really strengthen, so unless I see some obvious flaws. I'm saying the more I'm inclined that I don't have to wire, the better. Okay, well it's definitely thinning out nicely. No wire so far. This branch is probably a bit high up here. And the nice thing is you can see there's lots of little bud points on these. Probably a little bit longer than I want them, but they're just giving you that feeling of a pad. And here you go, we've got 1, 2, 3, so I've got to decide. Truthfully, I don't want the one going up, so that comes off. I mean, I already think you can see a difference. Whether it's a good difference is another thing entirely. Should we do something about this top, by the way? If we come in here, we can't be going much above there. So I imagine, do I want to... I don't want that to be much thicker. If I look at that, it's actually working quite nicely. We'll definitely go from there, so we'll definitely take that off. But I actually think it's going to be lower. And it's got the height. Keep going round. There's one place I've recognised I might wire. Sorry Nigel, but I might just have to do it. And it's this one. Got this big gap here at the back. If I don't wire, I mean, that's what I want to do with it. To just fill that spot in. So that's going to have a bit of wire on. That leaves that for the apical region. So we'll see how that works out. But we're pretty well done. Still haven't decided whether I want this or not, to be honest. Trouble with it is it's going to always be, that's always going to be crossing this one here, so I think I've got to be real about this. It's always going to be an issue. Now it'll give me more room to carve this. One thing I will say, bear in mind it got repotted this year. Seems to have benefited. I actually thought I was going to have a lot more difficulty, but I forgot I actually did do quite a lot of pruning in that earlier video. I went back and had a look, which is why we've got a lot more straight pad. And there was wire on it last year when I got it, or the year before. So this is what we're at the moment. Brought this right down. One piece of wire, and you'll see, well, it fills in this area over there. Hopefully. Are we just about to go on to carving? Oh, got a baby pigeon over there. What you come to, excuse me, what you come to look at? You're looking for worms, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, so we'll give it a spin. The only thing I do want to know is how I'm going to get into there and clear out that dead area, because there's a lot of rotten stuff in there. That's the question of the day. I've got to get right in there. That's obviously a live vein. I want that. That's alive, so I can't open that anymore. That's alive as well. Yeah, I don't know whether I've just got to use a woodworking tool and just continue to dig in there. Don't know. You haven't got a better idea? So give it a spin. I think we've got a basic shape. Obviously carving I'll do in a minute. Wire here. What I wanted here is this to be pointing upwards, so we create a bit of a crown, part of a sub-crown there. And then I've just bent this down and around, and what I want to see is branches coming off. So I imagine the back is there. These branches I know could be wired further down, but as I said, I'm going to try and avoid it, so I'll just be looking for directional. And that's it. So that's going to be as far as I'm going to go with the pruning. Get the carving on it and see what we can do. I mean this is bark, so I've just, not bark, this is dead wood. So we'll see how we get on with that. It's the first time I've worked really with stumps, so you know, I'm enjoying the challenge, and I know the likes of Ryan Horton of Horton's Bonsai, you know, this is his area. He really goes to town with this stuff, hollows stuff right out. So I'm going to go and have a break, and then I think we'll come back out and do a little bit of carving. Okay, well, believe it or not, it's now a week later, and we've finished with the sunshine, which is normally a great time to do hardwood carving and stuff. But the reason why we had the delays is because my efforts to get my Makita Die Grinder were all funny. The first time I got it, I had the joy of opening it up, and I'm sure we've all done this. And you've got this lovely tool, and you look at it and you're so excited, and then you look at that end, and this one's the right one, but the first time I had it for the 110 volt, which is set up for transformers, so I couldn't use it. So I went back. The second one I got was the right plug, but in the end, for the collet, which should come out, it didn't, and it was jammed right in, and I couldn't actually get the 6mm bit in there, so that was completely useless. So we've finally got this third one, and hopefully we'll be good to go, but haven't tried it yet. We'll see what happens. What I will say is a pretty heavy bit of kit, so yeah, let's get this all ready to go then. Okay, well definitely need safety gloves, and when you're using it, safety goggles. I've got the problems you saw with the little one I had, that I haven't got goggles to go over the glasses, so my risk is not that I'm going to get something in my eye, but that I'm actually going to chip my 300-pound pair of glasses. Simple. Basically got a safety. You've got a nice holding point here, which I like. Give it a test. I've probably deadened that sound out, so I'm ready to go. I've got my my T-cut nibbler on there with a 6mm shank. So shank sounds like a tough word, that, doesn't it? You Shanks Sharks, don't you? Thinking of Jaws then when you talk about shanks. Now there's a film that put me off swimming in Australia. Who here didn't watch Jaws and think that sharks were going to have them? I used to think sharks were going to get me in the bathtub, actually. Well, I convinced my sister that would happen. Goodness knows why she believed me. Okay, well, I've got the base wrap so that all the gubblings don't go all into the soil in the mix. I'll give you a quick spin just to remind you. We've got this area up here we want to carve. In here, I definitely want to carve this back down a bit. And I'll say so now. If you want to see a really good carving, then I'm going to send you straight to Ryan Horton of Horton's Bonsai. He does carve. It's like why. In fact, he does bonsai. I'm not sure what I do. I talk a lot. I'm one of those people who talks a good game. Anyway, so I'm going to be looking at that area, take a bit off that, maybe a little bit here. But yeah, the main hair is these back bits, and I'm just going to do my best because it's the first time I've ever used anything this big, so to speak. So let's see how we get on. Now, clearly you don't want to hear the noise, so we'll have some lovely, I don't know, we'll have Ride of the Valkyries or the William Tell. I think William Tell might work well with this because we'll be in Xavier motion. You haven't seen that for a while now, have you? Probably a good thing, really. Now the other thing I do, using these woodworking instruments, is to actually confirm exactly where the live veins are on all these. And I've been working around marking where we just start getting live vein from, so that I don't actually carve into live tissue. And it can be quite awkward sometimes trying to work out where that delineation is. So I'm carefully going through there. And again, it's just about very, very carefully where you've got the bark there, just lifting it, just seeing, is there anything green? Here, there's going to be a live vein somewhere, and I'm just trying to find out exactly where it is. There it is. Okay, so I know, because I can see the green. And what I don't want to do is risk the integrity. There's, see there, green, and this sort of amount of exposure isn't a problem, that'll just roll over. you know, this isn't a fast process. The more time you take, the better the results you get, and the less damage you actually do to your tree. But I definitely recommend investing in some good sharp woodworking instruments. And, I mean, I've been at it for half an hour now, and we've come all the way down here. That's all live. We've started hollowing out in here, but it's deep down inside there it's really mushy. I could do with a week of hot weather, funny thing that, because what I probably want to do is dry that right out and then put a sealant ball in there. Started to do some carving down on that. Got to do a little bit on that. I might need to get the little nibbler for that. But it's just, I think it's all about getting a bit of confidence. Starting to carve here and here. Well, I'll tell you what, I underestimated just how hard that would be and how long it would take. Granted, I'm still getting used to it, but this is as far as I'm going to go, and I know there'll be a lot of you out there saying I could go a lot further. But I'm going to stop where I am now, put on some of the Deadwood preserver, but I sort of got a choice. I mean, I've got the front there with some of this Deadwood here. In fact, we'll come in closer, you can see how it looks. So as you can see, I've started getting some ridges in there, but I'm finding that the angles and the great big machine make it difficult without cutting leaves off. Oh look, in fact, there you go. There's a leaf gone. It's alright, I've got 2 buds further back, they'll be much better. There's another one damaged there. To be fair, I was relatively happy. I didn't damage too much, but got this. A little bit of work up here, a lot more work in this area here. Starting to open down here, and I know with other tools I can might even use a little bit of a blowtorch on that, but for now that's okay. I was a little bit undecided actually. Someone did talk about this potentially being the front, and I actually thought about moving this out and around this way. But I still find there's just a little bit of a 50s woman shape there actually. You've got the hips coming out again, so I'm going to stick with my original decision, although the Deadwood's better on this side. A little bit here. Again, chewing it up there a bit. So I think what I've got to do really, hollow out a lot more of this. See how this reacts. I think a lot more of this is dead, but I've done enough. I'm going to stain that up. And I know there's lots of snaky ends on there, which I could have removed. There's a tool I can use to remove those, but I just want to see how it looks with the stain on it, to be honest. And come back to you to say ciao when it's done. Okay, first bit of carving properly, all done. Put the stain on, and truthfully, if I'd had a bit more time, I'd have got a little wire brush on it just to take those bristles off, or you can just use a light flame, but I got a bit eager. It won't make a difference in the long run. Yeah, a lot more carving to do in there, but it's just taking away the dead blocks at the moment, which is what I really wanted to do. So there she is. Well, it could be he, I don't know. But even now, you know, I'm looking down on this and it looks different. I don't know whether that's a good thing or bad thing, you tell me. So that is stage 1 of my box stump development. Initial pads, initial bit of carving just to take away the bluntness of the wood, and a lot of fertilizer in the future, I think. So we'll get in just so you can see the wood a bit better. I think hopefully you'll get an idea of just looking from the top just how it looks. I'm really quite happy with it, and happy with the weapons, so to speak. So with that under my belt now, it's not perfect, but it's moving somewhere forward. I'm really happy, and that's the first time I picked up those big power tools. It's not an issue, just so long you've got it plugged in, then it should work. Every now and then, make sure you check the bit that's in there, because certainly on the small nibblers, they can loosen off. But no, trouble free, to be honest. All we've got to do is hope that this thing lives now. So, from Xavier, having had a whale of a time creating sawdust, not only from sawdust from his ears, but sawdust from the tree, I'll say, bright out. Thanks very much for watching. All the best. God bless. Happy bonsaiing. All the best. We'll go round and round in circles. Cheers. Wow, I am fading out.